IWER.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. It's time for the 4 p.m. news on the street 919 FM, courtesy T and Tech, the power to make it work. In the headlines, U.S. visa applicants will need to be fully vaccinated from October 1st. The MSJ calls for a people-focused budget from the government. And in news overseas, the St. Lucian government to provide students with laptops for virtual learning. With the details, I am Jason Shields. The United States Embassy announced today that as of October 1st of this year, persons applying for certain visas to that country will be required to be fully vaccinated for COVID-19. According to the U.S. Embassy, the recommendation comes following a new policy from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Persons applying for immigrant, non-immigrant, and K visas will be recommended for a medical examination and have both their COVID-19 jabs. Waivers may be available in countries where vaccines are not routinely available or for persons who are not of the age to be vaccinated. In other news, political leader for the Movement for Social Justice, David Abdullah, is calling for a people-focused fiscal package on October 4th. Mr. Abdullah said that the Minister of Finance, Com Imbert, must speak to stimulate the economy to take into consideration the small and medium business sectors, which have struggled during the COVID-19 pandemic. The MSJ head, speaking at a news conference on Sunday, proposed that the creation of employment and stimulation of the economy must be organized in communities so wealth generated could be benefited for the majority of people and not the few. He added that people are still unemployed and those who have recently been re-employed are still trying to catch themselves, being without an income for quite a long time. Retired Superintendent Wayne Boyd, the former head of the anti-kidnapping squad in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, was found dead at his home in Couva this morning. Boyd was found unresponsive at his Roystonia home by someone who went to check on him after he failed to answer calls to his mobile phone. It is believed that Boyd may have died of a heart attack. This information is yet to be confirmed. Following the retirement of Mr. Boyd, the police service is said to have worked in private security industries in South Trinidad. Finally, in news overseas, the St. Lucian government announced on Sunday night that it plans to provide laptops to close to 4,000 students in the near future to facilitate virtual learning. That island's Minister of Education, Sean Edward, in an address to the nation on Sunday night ahead of the commencement of the new school year, that the decision to resort to blended methodology approach was devised following consultation with various stakeholders after the sharp increase in COVID-19 cases on the island over the past week. During his address, he admitted that the initial plan was for full-fledged reopening of schools where teachers, students, and ancillary staff would all report to their respective buildings for classes and other activities. He stated that, unfortunately, the pandemic had forced the government to once again depart from the initial plan. Minister Edward noted that in cases where students are not in possession of smart devices and internet infrastructure, teachers will endeavor to prepare handouts, worksheets, and other relevant packages that students will engage at home. And that was a look at your 4 p.m. news on the street 919 FM, courtesy T and Tech, the power to make it work. Recapping the headlines. The U.S. visa applicants will need to be fully vaccinated from October 1st. The MSJ calls for a people-focused budget from the government. And in news overseas, the St. Lucian government to provide students with laptops for virtual learning. Stay tuned to the Street 919 FM. We have more programming for you.
News from the street. 919fm.com. Dealing with current issues.